Sorry, I know it's been forever since I did a video on this channel, almost over 2 months. I just kind of want to go over why and just, do a little bit of a channel update first. But if you're just interested in the toy haul, you can skip to this time code and that'll take you straight to the toy haul. So September was a hell of a month. It was one of those just like everything goes wrong, Murphy's Law kind of months where like I just had, between health issues and medical bills and insurance problems, and then my car got destroyed in a hurricane. I had to sell it, and police tickets and just all of this stuff, everything at once. I was just really low on cash and just a little stressed out and everything. And, I'm still working on getting back to where I am. I just have some things I need to pay for right now. I'll probably take about a couple months before I get like comfortable income again, but I'll muscle through it. But, as I've said, I know I'm working all the time on this game I'm developing. I'm animating the whole game myself, and I know I'm a broken record saying this, but that's just what I'm doing a lot of the time. I'm working on this game, and when I'm not doing that, I still work a full-time job. I still am drawing for money, so it's like I'm doing a lot of stuff, a pretty full schedule. And in the past, it's like, well, when I'm not doing those things, I can either A, have a social life, or B, make videos, and I was making videos. But in recent months, I've been deciding to have a social life instead. That doesn't mean I'm done with videos. There's a ton of videos I want to make, and I will make. Many of them are even already recorded. Some of them have been recorded for a long time, the audio at least. I really want to do reviews and rankings and like retrospectives on all of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, all of the animated series. I want to do a video about the Coming Out of Their Shells tour. I'd really like to get back to the Turtle Talk toy videos and do like Leonardo variants, and then do Michelangelo variants, and Raphael and Donatello, then do like Bebop and Rocksteady and Shredder and Splinter, and do some of the extra characters like the Neutrinos and Channel 6 News Team and everything that I didn't do in the past. I'd like to do a lot more Turtle Talk videos talking about the vintage line. I have so many videos. I want to do a lot of horror stuff for Halloween that I just ended up not doing. Even in like August and September, I had more search for the spookiest videos that I was going to do. And the ones I have done have really underperformed compared to my other stuff, which should never be how you base if you want to do a type of video or not. You should just do what you want to do. But that is a bit of a factor as to why I haven't done more, to be honest, because it's just like, I'm not going to really record a bunch of videos, like a whole series of videos if people aren't really interested. I'm not holding it against people for not being interested. It's just like, there's better channels out there where you can get this same stuff, so I don't blame you. I'll go back to it at some point, but I want to do a bunch for Halloween, and I just decided not to. There's other stuff I wanted to do. I wanted to rank Stephen King movies, maybe even Stephen King books. I wanted to do top 10 Universal Monster movies, but yeah, I just haven't been feeling like making videos recently, because even though my videos are a little crappy, simple videos, they are time consuming. Editing takes a lot of time and stuff. I'm no expert when it comes to making videos, as you can tell by the quality of mine. So it takes a long time for me. So I just haven't really felt like doing that. I've just been doing a lot of work on my game and stuff, and just like I just been wanting to hang out with friends and hang out with people and play video games and have a life, like go to events. I went back to Sleepy Hollow. I go there every year at this time. I've just been enjoying Halloween, watching a lot of horror movies, getting together with family, getting together with friends, watching horror movies, going to haunted houses, just all kinds of stuff like that. So I just haven't had the time to make videos, or I haven't chose to have the time to make videos, but there are more videos coming. Don't worry, this channel is not done. I will still keep making videos. It's just like I might not always be making consistent videos. In 1 month I might put out 3 videos, and then I might put out no videos for 3 months. So it's like, that's just how I am. It's just sporadic. When I want to make videos, I make videos. So sorry, but I do promise there will be more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles videos coming soon, I want to say, but coming at some point soon. So let's get into the toy haul then. That's enough of that. I haven't gotten a ton of stuff, and a lot of stuff that I did get is stuff that I actually bought like a year ago, and it just came in the mail finally. But let's get right into it. Let's start with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because let's be real, that's like the focus of this channel. I talk about all kinds of stuff, but Turtles is like my bread and butter. So let's start with NECA stuff. Obviously, as you can see some of it here, I got the NECA Mondo Gekko, and please excuse the fact that these guys are just going to be in like static poses. I'm not really going to move them around and stuff, because I kind of already have them in the poses that I like them being in on the shelf, more or less. So I don't like to move them around too much, because then it's hard to find that perfect pose again where they'll stand and they're in the position you want. But yeah, I actually found Mondo Gekko at Target. I finally found NECA toys at Target that I don't already own, because like for so long I couldn't even find the ones I don't own at Target. But then I started finding, you know, the first wave of Punk Frogs in the stores after I bought them already for more than that. And but now I'm finally starting to find them in stores, and I found let me move this Super 7 April because she's not standing on her own. She has to lean against Mukman here. This awesome Mukman and Joe Eyeball. This is like, the cartoon one's not my favorite because, you know, they're kind of just the same design as the toy, but, you know, crappier. Sorry, like they're just less detailed. Or the beauty of Mukman is that he's just covered in detail. So a less detailed Mukman is kind of like but he's just so big and bulky and meaty and awesome, and the colors are so cool, and it's so nostalgic looking at him that I still think it's an awesome figure. I think that's really weird. So Mondo Gekko and Mukman, they were both released at the same time. Mukman comes in a bigger package than Mondo Gekko. You can actually see the packages over here. I've got, if you can see, I've got Mukman there and Mondo over there. Mondo comes in a smaller package. He comes with where we have him, Kerma right here, who's cool, just a little sort of articulated figure, not quite like a slug figure, but like a little bit of articulation. And you know, Mukman comes with Joe Eyeball, so they both come with that. They both have 3 points of articulation. Mondo Gekko comes with a decent amount of accessories, like what you'd expect from this line, like little knickknacks and like hands and stuff. And it comes with a skateboard, which is pretty big, but and it has working wheels, which is nice, because I'm pretty sure they said in the prototype that it wasn't going to have working wheels, and now it does, so that's nice. I could be wrong about that, though. But Mukman comes with hands, swappable mouths, Joe Eyeball, the trash can on his back, this big-ass gun, and he comes with a bucket of slime, like actual slime. But Mukman costs $10 less than Mondo. I don't understand the reasoning there. Mondo's a way smaller figure. He's way less plastic, less articulation. There's more pieces on Mukman's arm than there are on Mondo's and stuff. Like, way less articulation, way less size, way less mass. Just like less materials in general, less paint. I don't really know why Mondo costs so much. They have about the even amount of accessories when you add up the size of all of them and everything. They both have the little buddy guy. He actually has more packaging. It's a larger package. And he comes with a separate toy product. He comes with a specialized separate toy product, the slime, in this like special little ooze container. It's wrapped in the package. I haven't unwrapped it because it has a little logo on it, so I'm just going to keep it wrapped. I'm never opening it. But it's just weird that you're actually getting way more for Mukman, but Mondo Gekko costs $10 more. I don't know if just making the wheels roll cost a lot of money, because it didn't back in the 90s. I don't know. I don't know the technical things, so I'm not going to bash it, but to me, that kind of comes off like they're just charging the prices they know people will pay. They know everyone loves Mondo Gekko, so they're like, screw it, just make Mondo cost a fortune. Everyone will buy him. I really feel like they should at least have been even prices, or Mukman should have had Mondo's price tag, and Mondo should have had Mukman's. It just seemed weird. I don't know why Mondo cost a whopping $10 more than Mukman. It makes no sense to me. But then very recently, just like last week, I found the next wave of Punk Frogs. Who's in this one? It's a Napoleon and Attila, I want to say? Or is it Rasputin? I forget who. The first one was Genghis and Rasputin, I think. I think this one's Napoleon and Attila, although I could be mixed up. In the cartoon, they all look exactly the same. I was honestly never huge on their cartoon designs. It's cool to have the toys of them because, you know, like we never had that before. We never had all 4 frogs, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty radical. But their cartoon designs always kind of bored me because they're just like... They all look exactly the same. It's the same character model, just like different patterns on their muumuus and like different shades of green. It's really boring. I always like the toys better, where Napoleon, you know, is right here. I'm trying not to knock everything over here. Oh, there goes Mondo. Oh, there goes Flyboy. Napoleon for the toy was like insane. Like, look at this guy. He's awesome. He's like a leaf frog. He was so cool in the toy line. The original toy line. in the cartoon, he just looks exactly like Genghis. They all just look like Genghis. So honestly, I'm like, I'm not crazy about the frogs. I don't think most people are, because they're the most abundant ones at Target this past year. Like, it's been very easy to get the punk frogs. But they are cool, and it's nice to finally have them. That's about it for the NECA. Let's move into the Super 7 stuff. So, Wave 3 for Super 7 finally released. It took a really long time. Honestly, I pre-ordered these a long time ago. And, I have to say, I love Super 7's line. I think it's better than NECA's in just about every way. Stronger, nicer feeling materials, better articulation, better sculpt all around. The articulation doesn't mess with the sculpt, which I'm very big on. I do not like sculpts getting destroyed by over articulation. Just like really premium toys. Like, everything about them is really nice. But I have to say, Wave 3 is my least favorite of the bunch. There's like something to complain about in just about every figure. Mikey here, let me move this pizza box because it's going to fall anyway. I like to have him holding the pizza box, but I have him kind of in my pose. I put all the turtles together where they're kind of rushing at you, and Leo's got his back turned, and Raph's in the front, all menacing, and Mike and Don are going to be on the sides. But I don't have Donnie yet. But I like this Mike a lot. I actually think it's really cool. I wish the orange they used was a little more reddish, like the vintage toy. The vintage toy had like slightly reddish, and I feel like that really contrasted with the cool green really well. But I do really like him. Mikey's actually my favorite of the bunch. He's mostly just used out of, composed of used parts, like reused parts from Leo and Raph. So it's like, yeah, if I like those, I'm gonna like him. Then we have April. And April, she looks better than the original prototype they showed off. I'll give them that. The prototype looked pretty bad. Almost everything I complained about the vintage April having back in my Turtle Talk video is kind of present in this one. She doesn't really stand. I mean, I have her in a crazy pose where she's walking forward, but I didn't even want her in that pose. Just she couldn't stand in any pose, so I just did this because she could balance a little better here. She's just made out of a really thin, weak plastic, like weaker than the others. Her fingers feel like they're gonna break. And I got this really weird thing. I don't know if it's showing up on the camera, but on her arm here, the bottom of her arm where she's holding the camera here, she has like shreds taken out of her arm, like slices, and there's pieces of plastic sticking off, like someone like cut it, and it's just her arm is like shredded up. I don't know what that is, but she came like that out of the package. I'm also not crazy about the face. I think like the head sculpt is better than the vintage one by far, but the eyes are like really far apart. She doesn't look like April. She looks like a different woman. It looks weird. Her eyes are way too far apart. I don't know who she looks like. She's like some celebrity. She looks like, I picture her having a southern accent with this face. I don't know who this is. She's reminding me of somebody, but it's not April. So the April toy is pretty lame. Honestly, it's another lame April O'Neil toy. And it's better than the NECA one. I don't even own the NECA one. It's so ugly. But yeah, she just never gets a cut. She just never gets a good toy. She always gets a bad toy. Someone needs to make a good April already. Then we have Metalhead, and this one's pretty awesome. You know, he's pretty true to the original. There's some things I don't like quite as much. Some parts were like elongated because he's not as like stout as the original one, but they didn't do a very good job elongating him, and like those are just parts that are a little like the details don't really make much sense because they didn't know what to do with them. But his articulation is really limited, which I'm fine with. I find that weird though, because he's a robot. I feel like the thing I hate about articulation is that it makes everyone look like a robot. They're all broken up Frankenstein pieces that are like hovering together. It doesn't look like an organic creature. But for a robot, you can do that and it doesn't look bad, but they gave him exceptionally poor articulation, I feel. But regardless, he comes with a ton of stuff, like a ton of accessories, swappable head where you don't get the action feature, which I think is stupid. He still has the action feature with the glowing eyes if you hold him up to the light. The way they did the swappable hand is it's good, but it doesn't look quite as good as the original. But the thing I hate the most is he's not vac metaled. And I know everyone said that to death about this and the Silverhawks figures they're making. And I get it. I know when it's this articulated, you can't really vac metal something because then it will all scratch off when all the joints are moving and stuff. But the thing is, this is a solid piece in the middle. They made it like pliable here to, I don't know if you can see that, to make the articulation of the legs a little better, but it actually wouldn't have hindered the legs at all if it was hard anyway. His whole trunk here is one solid piece. There's no reason why it can't be vac metalized. That really ruins the figure a lot for me. That's like the biggest draw, the biggest appeal of the vintage metalhead is the vac metal body. So this is like, it's okay, but it's a really dull gold. It's not that interesting. It's shiny, but it's not like glossy. It's not that chromy kind of color. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. And then the biggest bummer of this wave is I never got the Rocksteady I pre-ordered, the figure I was most excited for. Though to be honest, as I complained about the vintage Rocksteady, I said his body was too skinny and small for his head. I feel like the head's even bigger on the Super 7 one from what I've seen. Like, this head sculpt is awesome, it's amazing, but his arms are like even skinnier than the vintage figure. They're not quite as buffed up. And he's, yeah, it's like everything I complained about is kind of still there. But the head sculpt's awesome. I still want him. I want Bebop and Rocksteady really badly. But I didn't get him because I ordered him from a place called Megalopolis Toys, which you've probably heard of. I only ordered him from that because I love Pixel Dan. I love Pixel Dan's channel. But for a while, his sponsor was Megalopolis Toys, and he was like always showing off stuff from Megalopolis Toys. So I was like, oh, let me check it out. So I pre-ordered my Rocksteady there because I figured, oh, if Pixel Dan recommends it, it must be good. And I know he didn't. He's just, getting sponsored. But that's what I thought at the time. And then shortly after that, I just started hearing nothing but horror stories about Megalopolis Toys, about how they never give you your toys and, they never ship your product. They cancel your orders all the time. They don't respond. I just kind of like kept that in the back of my mind and crossed my fingers like, please don't let that happen to me. And I made sure not to pre-order anything from them after that. But then it came time for these to start shipping out, and I contacted everyone to make sure they were being shipped. Everything was good with everybody else, but then Megalopolis didn't answer me. Like 2 weeks later, they finally responded, which they aren't even really Megalopolis anymore. There's some other thing, like they changed their name at some point or whatever. I don't know. So they responded and just said they canceled my order. So I didn't get Rocksteady. So now I'm going to get on the aftermarket, and he's going to cost a fortune, and I really don't want to do that. But he was the one I was looking forward to the most, and I didn't get him. So that sucks. So Wave 3, unfortunately, was a huge disappointment. I wasn't able to find Chrome Dome for the NECA one. It was just at a time where I was so low on money, I wasn't even really looking for him. I'm sure I would have found him at Target at the time if I had just looked, but I was like debating it, but I never did because I was just so low on money. It would have been irresponsible to be spending money on stuff like Chrome Dome. So unfortunately, I didn't get him. I really want him, but we'll see. Hey, how's it going, guys? Real fast. Sorry, the audio quality is going to be a little crappier here. I'm not using my microphone. But I just wanted to say real fast, update. By the time I was posting this video, I had actually gotten Chrome Dome. I've got him right here. He's awesome. I thought I had missed the window to get him, honestly. I thought I had already missed it, but I guess I didn't because he's actually in a lot of Targets now. I wasn't sure, so when I first found him in Target, somehow, even though I always have my my card in my wallet, somehow my card was out of my wallet. I guess I had taken it out when I got gas like a couple days before and had it in my jacket, and I didn't have it on me. So I took him to the register and then realized, oh crap, I don't have my card on me, so I can't get him. So that kind of sucked. And I had to go into work because, I was like on the verge of running late, so I had to just go there. And then while I was there, I was like, oh, I have a friend who actually lives by there, and I texted him and asked him, like, really weird favor, would you be able to go grab this action figure for me, and I'll give you the money tomorrow, because I was going to see him the next day anyway. And we worked it out, and he was actually able to go there and get it, and I gave him the money and everything, and that was great. And yeah, so I actually haven't missed any of them. I got, Chrome Dome, I got their boxes back here. I stacked the packages that look like the VHS tapes, just so I have like a little wall of Ninja Turtle goodness over here, and next to my vintage figures right here. Yeah, so I got Chrome Dome, Mukman, Mondo Gekko, and the second wave of frogs, all at Target, which is amazing because previously I got none of these at Target. I think Chrome Dome is actually my favorite of this bunch. I do really like the Mukman. I think he's number 2, but you know, compared to the Vintage and now the Super 7, the Mukman is just not as impressive, the cartoon one, because that's why I always say the cartoon ones are, you know, the designs are kind of not as awesome as the original ones. Like, they all look like the cartoon ones, so like Mondo Gekko in the cartoon, he looked more like a donkey than he did even a gecko, and they're just kind of the same designs, but with like less detail. And I thought that about Chrome Dome when they first announced him. It was like, well, why the hell would you do Chrome Dome? Because he looks exactly the same as the toy, the Vintage toy, just he's bigger and he's less detailed, and he's not going to be vac metalized. And that's something that was bothering me at first. And I wonder if they might even do an alt of him at some point where, like, the white shiny parts are done with vac metal. I doubt it, though, because, you know, with figures like this, that's really hard to do. Pretty much impossible to do. But that'd be interesting. If they did that, I'd actually probably pick up one, honestly. And, yeah, he's just awesome. Now, when you actually get him in hand, he's just so big and he's so beefy. And I don't know if the style of color was the right choice. It's a little odd in some places, but he's a very cool figure. I don't know, I could not stop playing with this guy when I first got him. When I was, because my friend who picked him up, Tim, he came and dropped him off while I was at work. And I know I'm at work for 16 hours some days. I was there for 16 hours. And I just had him standing there next to my computer, and I just kept picking him up and posing him and like just seeing like all the things he could do and just like looking at the designs on him. So like I had a blast just looking at this figure. I think that's probably the most fun I've had with like posing and looking at a NECA Toon figure. So this is a really cool one. Definitely of this past year, this is my favorite. This is awesome. In general, I do wish they'd do more characters who were, you know, exclusive to the cartoon series. Like, I'd like to get, you know, on the back of the package it shows Zack the 5th Turtle. I'd be really happy to get him, even though he's kind of like, he's just a kid. He's a human kid. It's still like he was such a common recurring character in the cartoon show, and he never had an action figure. So it would be great to get him. I still would really like a Rex 1. Not as big as Chrome Dome, but maybe, you know, as big as like the Triceratons or something, or as big as Mukman, like a deluxe Ultimate Rex 1. I would love that. Whenever I'm able to get my hands on the Channel 6 News team, I would love to, you know, do a setup with Irma and, you know, hitting on Rex 1 or something. And I want characters who look different. Like, I really want Ray Fillet, and I've said it a lot, but I really want Mona Lisa. Everyone wants Mona Lisa. It just doesn't seem like they're doing her for some reason. Like, for some reason, like, acknowledging the original 1987 Mona Lisa is, like, taboo. If they ever bring her back, they, like, drastically redesign her to the point where she doesn't even look like the same character. So I don't know why. I think she's probably the #1 pick if you were to go among all fans of the NECA line. When they say they want, you know, who they want in the next wave, I think the #1 pick for a long time now has been Mona Lisa, because she's so unique in the original cartoon design. She left such a big impression on a lot of us, and she's just always been a really popular character. For all the one-off characters, she's always been a very popular one. And, you know, it's cool to get, like, Ground Chuck and Dirtbag and stuff, but, again, they just kind of look like less cool versions of the Vintage action figures. I'm actually more looking forward to see, like, what Super 7 does with Ground Chuck, because, you know, they've been, like, plussing a lot of the guys who were supposed to be big but were tiny in the original line, and, you know, Ground Chuck was always too tiny. So I'm really looking forward to them doing, like, a huge hulking version of the Vintage Ground Chuck. But I'm not looking forward as much to the NECA one. Screwloose I'm looking forward to a lot because, you know, the original was the little slug figure, unpainted. It was pretty crappy. I'm looking forward to having a real Screwloose figure, but the Wingnuts, like, again, he's just a less interesting version of the toy design. So yeah, I don't want to ramble on too long here because this video is probably already pretty long, but yep, got Chrome Dome. So now let's move on to stuff that isn't Ninja Turtle related, because I have some other stuff. Real quick, I guess, I have this, it's from a brand called U2s. It's almost like Funko Pop, I guess. It's like a little vinyl figure. It's like a generic kind of thing. They just make other characters out of it. It might only be YouTubers, actually, because it's called U2s. I'm not sure. I don't know anything about it, but The Angry Video Game Nerd. I pre-ordered this a while back. I got it about a month ago in the mail. It's awesome just to have, like, an Angry Video Game Nerd piece of merchandise. I mean, I have a shirt that I got back when he was still with Screw Attack. I got it at a gaming tournament I was selling artwork at back in 2013. But it's just cool to have like an actual like figure. I'm not crazy about the style. I don't usually like things like Funko Pops and stuff. I don't think it's bad. It's like you can tell it's him, but the fact that it's just that generic face that they use on everybody with some adjustments and stuff, I feel like it's not as cool as if it just had more of an actual likeness to James. You know, Angry Video Game Nerd is, I'm not just Angry Video Game Nerd, Cinemassacre as a whole is like my favorite YouTube channel, my favorite online entertainment period. I freaking love Cinemassacre. It's so inspirational for everything I do. Like, James Rolfe is awesome. He's up there on my list of the most inspirational people with Weird Al Yankovic for me. Just watching his videos makes me want to like work on my game and do my stuff and make my art and stuff. So it's awesome to have this. But yeah, I think the generic style of the design brings it down a little bit. Like, I'm fine with the whole like caricature bobblehead kind of thing. I just kind of wish the face looked a little more like James, a little less like the stock design that they use for everybody, but it's still awesome. And the box is cool. It looks like his actual game room, and I'm standing in front of it. For Masters of the Universe, I don't have as much stuff. I've actually seen a lot of Motu Origin stuff that I could have gotten, but I just, again, I've been so low on money. I saw like the Battle Damage, He-Man, and Battle Cat 2-pack, which is awesome. I love the VAC metal on it and everything, but again, just it was too much money for me at the time. I've seen the Wind Raider, and I haven't been able to get it because, again, money. But I did get the Land Shark. I found this bad boy at Target. It's everywhere now. I know in a previous toy haul, I was gushing about how happy I was. I found the Rise of Evil 2-pack with Cronus and drawing a blank. Keldor. And now it's in every Target, and you can find multiple copies of it on every shelf at Target. So it's really not that impressive anymore, but I'm still happy I have it. So I got the Land Shark. It's, to be honest, kind of just a crappier version of the vintage Land Shark, but it's still cool. And I picked up some of these Motu Minis because I didn't have any of these in the past. I got a Battle Armor He-Man here, Orko the Great, Zodak, it's a cool one to get, Anti-Eternia Man-at-Arms. I would rather it just be Man-at-Arms, to be honest. I don't really need the Anti-Eternia thing. Merman, which Merman and Clawful have actually appeared in my Sea Creatures videos for Search for the Spookiest. Skeletor, Battle Armor Skeletor, and as previously mentioned, Clawful. And lastly, for Masters, I got another Hot Wheels thing, the Wind Raider. So I ended up getting the Wind Raider in some shape or form anyway. Another little mini figures I got a bunch more of my vintage California Raisins. I got a ton of these at a thrift store. That's actually a video I plan to do soon, as there's a thrift store I go to called Unique, or My Unique, depending on where you look. And I get a lot of my stuff there, a lot of my vintage stuff, a lot of my VHS tapes, a lot of my all vintage action figures and stuff, and just like a lot of like cool little knickknacks and stuff I get there. And I just have a ton of video footage of cool finds there, not even just stuff I bought, like just all kinds of like cool rare finds and everything. And I'd like to put those all together into one big video, into one big, like, you know, montage where I'm kind of voicing over and telling you what everything is and everything. Also, since I've been putting these in the toy haul videos anyway, I might as well put them in here too. More of the new Tiger handhelds. I finally got the Transformers one. That was the only one from the first wave I was missing, which is awesome, because I like this one too because it's all black. But then I also they have a new wave of them out, like Jurassic Park and stuff, and I got Spider-Man. So we got a Spider-Man one. These are like from GameStop. They're cool. They're not like the greatest things in the world, but they're cool. It's just cool to have them. And now, weirdly, the next bunch of stuff I have is stuff I got for free. This is stuff I just found. Most of it's like board games and stuff, but real quick first, which is kind of weird. Anyone who watches the channel knows I'm a huge Little Mermaid fan. It's my favorite animated movie of all time. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I collect a lot of stuff for it. And I was leaving a Walmart once and going to my car. You know, there's like the light posts in parking lots, but it was like kind of like a cement block they're in. Well, on top of the cement block was just a Sebastian figure, a little mini figure of Sebastian, which is actually a pretty cool figure. I feel like he looks a little weird. I think the two teeth on the bottom was kind of weird. The teeth at all don't really look right for this expression. And I feel like his bottom lip should be a little bigger. He has like a pretty big bottom lip in the movie, but yeah, it's awesome. Sebastian is one of my favorite characters. Sebastian and Ariel are my two favorite characters from the movie. So it's pretty awesome that I just found this. It seems weird, like someone left it for me. Like, oh, we know you like Little Mermaid. Here you go, here's Sebastian. And we know you love Sebastian. I've actually been meaning to get a Sebastian figure for a while for my Little Mermaid display. I really wanted the Burger King Happy Meal one, that like wind up walking one from the 90s. It actually wasn't for the movie, it was for the animated series, which I might also get the one of Ariel on the tortoise's back, the sea turtle's back. But I don't know. I do want that Sebastian for sure at some point. But it turns out I didn't know where this was from, but eventually I found out this actually is a Happy Meal too. It's from McDonald's. Right now they're doing like a 50th anniversary of Disney World set of toys where it's all like the little animal buddies. There's a flounder also. I kind of want the flounder, but I don't want garbage ass McDonald's food. So it's like I'm not getting it. So, but I have Sebastian. I got him for free, which is awesome. But anyway, outside of one house that was actually on the street behind the street I grew up on, there was a house throwing out a bunch of board games and puzzles and stuff that all just happened to like appeal to things that I loved as a little kid, kind of. So I'm guessing they're from the same generation and they loved all the same stuff I did. Kids grew up, moved out of the house, parents are leaving the house now, and they're just throwing out all their old stuff, so they just put it all on the curb. But we got this, the Heroes in a Half Shell game. I didn't even know this thing existed. It's a card game, Ninja Turtles card game, where it comes with all these little turtle shells and all these cards with characters on them and stuff. And it's kind of cool. You can see the old used game pages where you can see their names on it and stuff, like the same names on everything, like Kristen. It's kind of cool. I like seeing that. I like seeing evidence of like the fun times people had with this item. Like it creates like more value to it because it's like, oh man, I'm like holding someone's childhood right now. But I'll have to play that sometimes. The box is in horrible shape though. But the same house also had a Universal Monsters board game, which is Frankenstein. I don't think it's officially licensed by Universal, but I think they made a bunch of these because it says Classic Creepy Monster Games trademark and then Escape from Frankenstein. The only problem with this is it's missing the Frankenstein figure. There's supposed to be like a Build-A-Figure, like this green 6-piece green Frankenstein. Over the course of the game, you like build him, and then when he's all built, he comes after you or something. But it's pretty awesome. This kid is like 90s as hell with that mullet he has. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Kids on the back actually like don't look very happy playing the game. They look kind of miserable, honestly. So maybe it's not a great game. Then speaking of the Little Mermaid, I got a fashion designer. Yeah, it's kind of weird, I guess, for a 35-year-old man to be collecting a Little Mermaid fashion maker. But this is awesome. It's actually made by the same people, Rose Art. It's a company that used to make colored pencils and markers and stuff. But they're the same ones who made the Little Mermaid Presto Magics I have, which is basically color forms. It's like bootleg color forms. The same like motif and everything. So like they go together actually. And I may be crazy, but I think my sister had this back in the day. She had one of these. It was either this or it was one for like Beauty and the Beast or something. But she had this where you get the little like plastic sheets and you put a piece of paper on top. You're supposed to scribble on it with black crayon. It's supposed to make the picture, but it doesn't. You just get this black like nightmare, like just covered in scribble. Like it looks like asphalt. And you're supposed to color them in. Like here, it's like a crystal clear picture of Eric and Ariel. But yeah, it doesn't work. But I do remember her having this. I remember playing with these like plastic pieces and everything. And just like mix them up, mix and match, and make like different costumes. You really can't because there's clearly parts that go together. But it comes with coloring. It actually has all this stuff in it, so that's pretty cool. And for some reason, the logo down there at the bottom looks like a license plate. I'd make my license plate look like that if I could. That'd be awesome. But yeah, here's like some impossible coloring jobs that you would never be able to do because you can't get those outlines like that. But still, it's cool to find it. I'm pretty sure that is the one my sister had though, because the color scheme is ultra familiar, all like the turquoise and pink and stuff. I really think that's the one she had. And then I found some other stuff too, but the other one I'll show off is just freaking dinosaurs, man. Dinosaur Puzzle. It's awesome. This reminds me of like the books I used to get as a little kid from the library that were like about dinosaurs. You'd open up the first page and it would just have like paintings like this and just like list who all the dinosaurs were. And I used to love this. I used to copy them and draw from them all the time when I was a little kid. And I remember they actually had those books at that same library at some point when I grew up. And I wanted to buy them. And they were like, no, they're not for sale. We're still, renting them out. And then like a year later, I came back and they were gone. And I asked about them. They're like, yeah, we sold them in like a book sale thing when we were cleaning the house. I'm like, you bastards. Like I offered to buy them the year before. I probably would have paid more than what you sold them for. So that sucks. I really would have wanted those books. Those were a big part of my childhood. But it's cool to have this. I think this is probably the same artist, honestly, who did this. But yeah, it was just weird to find like a big like pile of free stuff that's like right behind my house I grew up in. And it's all stuff I liked when I lived in that house as a little kid. So I guess I just liked the stuff everybody liked back then. Dinosaurs and the Little Mermaid and Ninja Turtles and as Universal Monsters is a little more unique. Back then all kids liked the Universal Monsters. So I think now it's rarer, but back then everybody liked the Universal Monsters. And then last of all, the last free thing I found, which is pretty amazing. A Nintendo 64 box. Now there's no Nintendo 64 in here. There's no controllers, there's no games or anything. But this is the box and it is in like beautiful condition. This is from one of the last years because it has, Ocarina of Time, DK64 on it, and most of all Smash Brothers, which Smash Brothers came out very late in the N64's life, like one of the last couple years. 99, I think the last real year was like 2000 before GameCube came out in 2001, but yeah, I guess about like late half of the later half, but like middle of the N64's life. But yeah, it's just cool. Like, I remember seeing these. It's amazing. I don't know how someone still had this in such good shape, like from the 90s. It must have just been sitting in their attic. It's beautiful. It's like there's a little bit of wear and tear, but it's a pretty flawless box. And I have an N64. I didn't have a box for it, so I don't have a box for any of my consoles really, other than like the recent ones, like the Switch. So it was pretty awesome to find that. I remember seeing when I was a kid and the N64 was new. I remember someone throwing one out. It was the same style box, but different games on it, and it had like, instead of showing Link on the side, it showed like Fulgore from Killer Instinct Gold and stuff. But anyway, that's just about it. That's just about everything I have to show off in this toy haul video. Again, I apologize for not making videos recently. That's not going to be permanent. I can't guarantee there's going to be a ton of videos immediately, but there are more videos coming to the channel. And I am sorry I didn't do any Halloween videos. I really wanted to do Halloween videos. I know that's not really like the biggest draw for this channel is the horror stuff, but I love doing horror stuff. I love horror, so I really wanted to do some horror stuff, but there's going to be more like turtle stuff and stuff like that coming in the future. So I hope you're excited about that. Thanks for checking this out, and take care. Do all the liking and subscribing and the sharing and the bell stuff.